all of your all of your digital identity is also tracked, and you're inside an AI system controlled by the same money that everybody is making stronger and stronger with all of their actions in this. And it looks very dystopian. Now that if you're measuring from that system, you could get very fearful of what would happen.
Yep.
But what would naturally that create? That would create the opportunity to solve problems for humanity. That would create all of the value outside of that. So we're just very early in that happening on Bitcoin, but that's where all of the opportunity is moving. It's beautiful and it's exploding and it cannot be stopped. It won't be stopped because we are it.
Author Jeff Booth argues that the system we live in today is unstable at its core. Most people sense it, but they keep playing along, and when it finally breaks, they look for someone to blame. Bitcoin, he says, represents a completely different path. It's not a centralized game of manipulation, it's a decentralized protocol anchored to energy itself. Because it runs on tens of thousands of independent nodes, no one can easily cheat it. That makes Bitcoin more than just money, it's a foundation built on truth. Booth points out that entrepreneurs are already building on top of this network, creating solutions to problems most people don't even realize exist yet. And here's the key: if one country tries to suppress that innovation, it simply moves somewhere else. The momentum doesn't stop because it's tied to human nature. People don't accept cages forever. Bitcoin is that escape valve, and we're still early in seeing what it becomes. Meanwhile, governments themselves are starting to dip in. The United Arab Emirates reportedly holds about $700 million in Bitcoin, most of it from mining operations. That's according to blockchain analytics firm Arkham Intelligence. The figure is much smaller than the rumors that had been circulating claims of 420,000 Bitcoin, worth around $46 billion, which would have made the UAE the largest nation-state holder in the world. Even at $700 million though, the signal is clear. Countries are quietly building positions. And if Booth is right, this is only the beginning. If you found value in this breakdown, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with other investors who are paying attention. We're here to keep bringing you sharp analysis and voices that actually understand what's unfolding. Thanks for watching.
Right.
So if you have an unstable system based on that, you can expect humanity, your own role in it, to be able to just keep doing it and put your head in the sand and then the whole thing gets worse and you blame other people when it's actually you.
Right. Okay.
Now but before we go there, now let's say what Bitcoin did. It's an open, decentralized, secure protocol bounded by energy. And if it stays decentralized and secure, which I'm pretty sure it will, why am I pretty sure it will? Because it's the nodes, the consensus mechanism, and tens of thousands of nodes who know this problem now and are defending this network. And so it's very, very hard to cheat. And as more people know this network, it provides a base level for humanity that is a different structure. And what would you ask? What is it doing to the other control structure? It's completely repricing and not just repricing, but changing the entire lens of society. And it's just very early. So if you think you're making 8% a year, inside that other system, and the money supply is rising by 8% a year, and you're actually just losing money. In Bitcoin versus that other system, the IRR is 45%.
Right.
Then you're being repriced whether you know it or not. And so that base level, that honest level, that essentially truth, that objective reality, or ask a different question. If the natural state of the free market was deflation, which it clearly is, and now you had a protocol bounded by energy that you couldn't cheat, what would you expect to see? You would expect to see falling prices forever from the honest protocol. And then now what do we see? We see exactly that. My house was 300 Bitcoin 5 years ago. Now it's 11 Bitcoin. It'll continue. My energy prices look the same. It's perfectly describing objective reality. Well, most people are measuring it from a perspective reality. So over time, and I've written about this, money is subordinate to law. And so laws always change to control money, and the people at the top of the money control the laws, and they change. And by the way, if it didn't look like that, you'd expect the places with the most broken money to have the best laws protecting citizens.
Right. Yeah.
So you can see what ends up happening. And by the way, the free market has always existed, and in those countries, you have a black rate for money, and
Yes.
and posted rate, and a different market exists for the free market. So you can expect what would happen out of more and more coercion. And remember what the coercion is doing as well. As it's trying to do this, all of your digital identity is also tracked, and you're inside an AI system controlled by the same money that everybody is making stronger and stronger with all of their actions in this. And it looks very dystopian. Now that if you're measuring from that system, you'd get very fearful of what would happen.
Yep.
But what would naturally that create? That would create the opportunity to solve problems for humanity. That would create all of the value outside of that. So we're just very early in that happening on Bitcoin, but that's where all of the opportunity is moving. It's beautiful, and it's exploding, and it cannot be stopped. It won't be stopped because we are it, right? And so we won't live in cages. Humans won't live in cages. And so it provides, even though this is unknown by most of the planet, that's what entrepreneurs always do. Entrepreneurs go and solve the problem that people don't know they have yet. And if they're right, they create tons of value. So now, if a country is trying to suppress that value will move to somewhere else.
Right.
It won't be stopped.
Jeff Booth says most people stay locked inside broken systems simply because they don't realize there's another way out. Look at Venezuela. When the currency collapsed, the few who understood Bitcoin could walk away with their wealth intact. They didn't need bags of cash or gold bars, just a password memorized in their heads. Everyone else was trapped. They faced tighter government control, endless protests, and worsening conditions. The option was there, but without awareness or agency, they couldn't use it. Booth's point is bigger than one country. He argues that two competing monetary systems, an inflationary one like fiat and a deflationary one like Bitcoin, cannot coexist forever. One eventually destroys the other. In a true free market, prices fall as technology and competition drive costs down. That's natural deflation. Fiat flips this around. Governments need inflation, so prices rise and people work harder just to stand still. Bitcoin breaks that cycle. It doesn't siphon value away, it directs it to the builders and innovators. For Jeff Booth, that's real freedom, a system where progress gets rewarded, not manipulated. Let's get back to the interview.
Why, in Venezuela, why did most people stay in the system when they could have bought Bitcoin?
Right.
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 And those people that stayed in the system, where the Bitcoiners got out of Venezuela because they had wealth and the capital and everything else, they could just move across the border with words in their head. The other people got stuck, and coercion and control got worse and worse and worse. And then you have marches on the street, millions of people marching on the street, making it stronger. And it's not change. It doesn't change, and it keeps on. And all of those people getting hurt more and more and more. So it's not that it doesn't exist. It's just most people don't have agency. They don't know what's happening.
Right.
So they don't take their agency. Now, where's that different from the people that you know? You've mentioned Bitcoin Data, which is just beautiful people,
Yes,
all around the world that just found out and started learning, and then started contributing more of their time to the honest system, the open system. And from contributing their time to the honest system, helped so many other people, inspired other people, and moved more time. And their lives just got better and better and better as they moved their time to the honest system. And just about everyone I know in the system, they're doing the same thing, and they're disengaging from that other system and moving more time. And their disengagement from the system based on corruption is the thing that they're seeing in the free market shine back at them.
Yeah.
But by the way, why would that make sense? Because free market values impact on other people. It makes perfect sense.
Could you unravel that a bit more? Or what can I say? Could you explain that a bit more?
The only way to get paid in the free market is to provide more value to somebody else. So if you had this massive change in something that has never existed before, that was an expression of the free market, but most people didn't know, if you really knew, and you knew how to connect to those people in all different ways, creating businesses that protected them from what's coming, creating educational content to help those people. The more people you helped, the better you would do. Because the free market, you cannot get paid in the true free market without competing to provide value.
Right.
with the entire world. So if you're competing to provide value, you have to be really good at your craft, because you could compete to be, and now that is exactly what's happening. You have this new protocol that's largely so misunderstood.
Yeah.
It's so misunderstood even by a bunch of Bitcoiners who think they understand it because it's so new, right? And what people are doing is they're integrating a former reality, trying to make those work together.
Right.
And they can't, right? So if the free market, the natural state of the free market is deflation, that cannot coexist with an inflationary monetary system. One has to kill the other. And so what's happening right now is all of the value, all of the early value, just like early internet. If you were in the internet, and it was a new protocol that was changing everything. The value would be captured by the people that are building on the new protocol.
Yep.
And so that's what, but in this way, it doesn't get captured, because if you capture value and somebody else sees the margin go up and you're making a ton of money from that, then they will compete with you and prices keep falling for everyone else, because in the free market, prices continue to fall forever because we have to provide more value. It's a perfect expression of providing more value. And if you measure Bitcoin against that, you'll see a perfect reality unfolding. The first global free market that's ever existed.
According to Blockbeats, CryptoQuant analyst Axel noted on social media that Bitcoin's annualized adjusted MVRV ratio has reached the 1.0 range. This indicates that the short-term average, 30-day, is nearly equal to the annual average. The annualized basis remains positive, with its curve maintaining a horizontal trend. As a result, the numerator and denominator are moving almost in sync, with their difference narrowing and the baseline neither declining nor accelerating upward, suggesting the market is digesting previous gains. What stands out in Booth's argument is how monetary systems are not just abstract theories but forces that shape people's choices, freedoms, and even survival. His contrast between a system that drains value through inflation and one that channels it toward innovation highlights a fork in the road that societies cannot avoid forever. With on-chain data showing investors consolidating after sharp gains and governments cautiously entering the field, the transition may already be underway, quietly but decisively. Could this convergence of technology, policy, and human behavior mark the tipping point where Bitcoin shifts from experiment to necessity? So stay tuned. If you're into real, data-backed takes on the financial system, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the weekly updates. Thank you for the support, and I hope you enjoy the video.